welcome to the Aspire Sports Show. I'm Tyler, along with our guests here. Well, yes, I'm sorry, because I was going to say co-host, but we do have our guests here. It is Alex Womer. Alex, why don't you go ahead and just introduce
Oh, I
yourself
got
real quick?
go ahead,
Yeah,
Alex.
what's up, guys? My name's Alex Womer. I used to do what you're doing here and try to give out advice, but you guys are better than me. I already got a first-hand look at the Twitter you sent me last week, so I'm happy
Yeah, that
to.
was Corey Davis, right?
Yep, Corey Davis. That was good advice. So I'm happy to be in the presence of actual experts. But now I work at Edinburgh University. I used to work with Ryan in the radio world, so I've been around Erie sports for quite some time. Cool place to cover, especially the NFL, because you've got the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills, and Pittsburgh Steelers, which they have all got primetime matchups this weekend, so that's a fun one. But now I'm a sports information director. I'm in charge of statistics, and that's as glamorous as it gets now. So, but I do
So,
enjoy it.
what kind of what do you do in terms of statistics? Like for just like the whole county, or like for Edinburgh? What exactly?
For Edinburgh University, when their sports resume, I should say, I'll be in
Hmm,
charge of the statistics. So on game day,
gotcha.
making sure that everything gets finalized and is official for the NCAA, things like that.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So you have
Yeah.
to actually like
Very
go to
cool.
the games and watch it then?
Oh
Make
yeah,
sure.
I got pretty much all of them. So if you're at
Hmm.
an Edinburgh sporting event, say hi.
All right. Well, we're excited to have you. So thank you for coming on the show. And obviously, we have the regular crew here. We got Kyle, Ryan, Giggs, and we're gonna be talking about them Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. They're probably gonna go out there. They're probably gonna smoke the Buffalo Bills tonight. I'm just letting you guys know what's gonna happen. So, but we're gonna kind of break it down a little bit, talk about the game, talk about our favorite bets, and also talk about some of the players that did really well today and some of the players that maybe weren't that great of calls. So if you have any questions for the game tonight, the big game, you probably have some players. If you need to know who to start, who to sit, just feel free, ask in the chat. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Any big player news? I know Mike Gesicki, he was hurt and he looked like he was in some pretty obvious pain. Devontae Parker was also hurt. Was there any like star running backs that got hurt that left the game? I can't
I
think of
think.
any right now.
Yeah,
I think
nothing I
everybody
can
was
think of.
yeah, everybody
Gio
was
got
fine.
benched. He's a star, right?
Geo, did you say Geo Gigs?
Yeah, Gio got
Yeah,
benched.
he got benched, and man, if we told you to play him, I'm sorry. That was well, he had a fumble, right? I'm pretty sure he had a fumble
Yeah.
earlier. Debo, yeah, Debo was hurt. He ended up getting hurt. I don't know if he came back. Did he come back? I
No.
know Keenan Allen got hurt, but he did come back in the game. But yeah, Gio lost a fumble earlier in the game, and he still played a little bit, but it was basically Samaje Perine. Who else was in there? I don't even know who the other person
Travion
was.
Williams.
Travion
Travion
Williams.
Williams. Yeah.
So both those guys. So if you started Gio today, did not look good. I'm sure. So any other big? Well, you have Stafford right now too. He's dealing with an injury, and he's holding his side, so possibly a rib injury. I'm guessing, but we'll have to see. Any other big quarterback news other than Ryan? Why don't you go ahead and talk about your boy, dude?
Oh, Jalen
Did
Hurts.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts looks good. We're getting kind of what I expected. He's not doing. I mean, he looks deep. He looks solid passing the ball. I mean, like serviceable, not making anything great. But I mean, in fantasy, I mean, we talk about fantasy sports here. The fantasy upside that we were hoping was there, rushing, is on full display today. Didn't rush for a touchdown, so we're not getting the 6 points, but he's rushed for over 100 yards, so he's putting up a real good fantasy day. And I expect him to keep the job. I mean, they're beating the Saints right now. They haven't looked like some juggernaut of a team, but at the same time, the Saints have a pretty good defense. So the fact that they're getting a win there, I don't see them pulling the starting job for him after a win like this.
And yeah, Miles Sanders, man, he had a really good game, and I'm telling you, if you didn't play him today, it was the right call not to play him. Like this is the number one rush defense in the NFL, the team that's giving up the fewest fantasy points to the running back position this year in New Orleans, and a team that just made a quarterback change that you had no idea. Like it was the right choice to bench him. If you benched him, don't feel bad about yourself. Don't beat yourself up because it was the right choice. but he went off today, and that sucks if you didn't play him and you're looking at those points on the bench. But hey, what can you do? Alex, how about your teams? Were you in the fantasy playoffs? Or
Yes, yeah, I'm in there today. Man, I thought early on I was gonna sail to an easy victory, but now it's looking like it's gonna be a little closer than that. T.Y. Hilton coming back around to bite me. I dropped him like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and of course,
yeah,
the guy I
no, he's
went
doing good.
in the first round has him. He's only got two players that are really doing much: Calvin Ridley and T.Y. Hilton. So,
That you're playing against?
yeah, yep,
Okay.
I'm playing against those guys. And then I've got Kareem Hunt, Lamar Jackson, and the Pittsburgh defense left to go. Marvin Jones currently in action as well. So it's going to be close. I'm currently projected to lose that game by a little under 2 points. So,
Oh boy,
yeah,
a nail
fingers
biter.
crossed. It's been a
Monday
weird
night.
year. Christian McCaffrey. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people had that issue, and Christian McCaffrey, he did a number on my team. So,
It's definitely it's been the hardest year of fantasy football. Just with, I mean, with the injuries, but also with just the whole COVID. Like this week, you're hoping to play Miles Gaskin, then you're left basically last night. Now you can't play him. So
yep.
it's just been a really difficult year, and to even make the playoffs is just like is a feat in itself. Like it truly is, especially this year. So
I did have the Miles Gaskin dilemma, so I
oh,
woke
did
up
you?
and threw Marvin Jones in his place. So hopefully that one works out. I didn't get a chance when you were going around looking for injuries, but my guy Alex Smith, I'm a huge fan of
Oh
Alex
yeah.
Smith. It's impossible not to be, I feel like, and he left the game with a leg injury, so certainly doesn't appear to be like it was. But even still, I'm pulling for him.
Was it? Do you
Yeah.
know if it was the same leg that he hurt, or does anybody know?
I didn't see the injury. I know
I
I,
like the
I got the
game.
update that he was pulled, but
No, I don't see which leg it was. It says questionable, so I mean, hopefully that's a
Okay.
good sign.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Did you say something, Giggs?
Yeah, I have that game on the TV right now, and he was talking to Haskins on the sideline. So it's not like he's in a
Oh,
tent
okay.
or anything like that. But I can't confirm which leg it is he injured, if it was a leg injury.
Okay. And we got a question in the chat here. We have Julian, who's the top wide receiver for Pittsburgh tonight? Trying to make a DK lineup to make up for my season, basically coming to an end today. Me personally, I feel like it's going to be Deontay. Deontay's their Ben force feeds him the ball, and I just think we'll see a lot of Deontay. Or in my opinion, it's going to be Deontay or Juju, but I'd probably go Deontay just because I don't care who's on him. Ben's going to still throw him the ball. What do you think, Alex? Who do you think is going to be the top wide receiver for Pittsburgh?
Deontay's the guy that gets that separation, so that's the first guy that came to my mind because they're going to have to fight and claw in the middle of the field. I feel like to get the work done. So I don't think people realize, maybe outside of Pittsburgh fans, they're figuring it out this year if they're paying attention to fantasy football, how good this guy is.
Yeah.
Johnson. I'm all for that. I don't know, what Buffalo does with Pittsburgh defensively. I don't know if they blanket a number one receiver. If that's the case, who's that guy going to be? If it's Claypool or Juju, great. That opens things up for Johnson.
Yeah. And that's what I was looking at before this game. I was trying to figure out who Tre'Davious White is going to shadow. And like week 2, he shadowed Preston Williams rather than Devontae Parker. So and he shadowed him on 75% of the routes. So to me, I don't know if that means he's going after the taller wide receiver, because I think Preston Williams is taller than Devontae Parker. But so if that's the case, then you're going to have him probably shadow Claypool rather than Johnson if they're going to shadow. So it's up in the air. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I will say this: Buffalo is not good in the slot, so Juju does have a good matchup in the slot, but I still expect Ben to heavily target Deontay Johnson in this game. And I think the Steelers, Alex, you tell us. Me and Kyle, we're big Steelers fans, okay? This is what doesn't make sense to me as a Steelers fan. You get Derek Watt. You bring him in, you're not even running the football, especially like in an I formation. You're not even utilizing Watt. Basically, he's a special teamer. So why bring him in to basically play special teams. I mean, obviously special teams are important, but he's a fullback. So like, why aren't you utilizing him? What do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I mean, obviously there's the Watt effect. You know, you're bringing him in to appease his brother to a certain
Yeah,
degree.
true.
That was tough. If I'm thinking of the same play as you, was it Benny Snell who tried to get off the ground and kind of dive in for 1 yard last week,
Yeah.
and it didn't look all that athletic, so it didn't look good. I mean, but so I get it why you'd want that old school football, that I formation. Teams just aren't doing that anymore. They just
Yeah.
don't do it. And I don't know if it's a percentage game or what exactly it is. They'd rather have those athletes out on the field. For Pittsburgh right now, I think that, and I'm getting a little bit outside of just tonight's game, but I think people are panicked about this perceived lack of the ability to run. And I don't know if it's a lack of an ability. At 11-1, how much do you have to show to the opposition
Right.
moving into the playoffs when they're not a team like Kansas City who is going to come in and just try to steamroll you? They're a team that they're going to have to prepare throughout the week. They're going to have to be ready for the chess match going in, but then they're going to compete with any team in the NFL, in my opinion. So the Bills are going to be a real tough test. And as far as Derek Watt goes, unfortunately, I guess for him, he's always kind of been that special teamer.
Yeah.
Guy. So I don't know how many plays they've got installed for Derek Watt.
Well, and that like because I think it was last week. I think you're right because they were on the I feel like 1 yard line and they brought in Derek Watt, but they put him out as a tight end and they run Benny Snell up the middle with no fullback. And to me, it's just like, why do that? Like if you're that close, why not put him in as a fullback and be the lead blocker rather than putting him out as a tight end? So it just didn't make any sense. But I do agree with you in the sense that they don't really need to run the football because what they're doing is, and what a lot of teams are kind of going to now, are the short passes. Like the little short passes are basically your running game, and that's what Pittsburgh's doing a lot of right now is just the short, little dinky passes, a little bit too much. But that's kind of the run game because they can't really run the ball super efficiently, so they're relying on the short passes. So I do agree with you in that sense. But Kyle, you have something to say about it all? Rubbing your eyes out of there, you little sleepies. Can't hear you.
I forgot. I have the mute button on that. I have never used it while we've been streaming, so I have to keep remembering that I'm using it. Anyways, I don't know if it was the Gerald Hawkins stupid and eligible receiver 4th down play, or if it was the Benny Snell one, but Derek Watt was wide open on one of those plays, and I don't know if it's just Ben Roethlisberger not having that trust with him yet, or him maybe having a doubt in him or whatever, but he was wide open. And it's interesting to like think they are using him in that way. He's just not being utilized. But I don't, like I said earlier, really what the struggle is with their offensive line, which it could be fixable. It could not be an issue like you're saying, Alex. I think maybe they just haven't leaned towards it because maybe they wanted to get the passing game going more. I don't really know what the answer is to that, but I think the issue is lack of push, and I talked about it last time. So why are you going to use a fullback if you can't even get the offensive line moving people off the line of scrimmage anyways? There's no point. And I think that's why they just run out of shotgun because they look at it as people are going to be in the backfield by the time Ben hands the ball off in shotgun or in under center. So you might as well just run out of shotgun. So I think it's kind of a mess, but I don't know. I think it could be fixable. James Conner's back, so we'll see if he can actually start to get things rolling. Maybe he'll prove that everybody's wrong about him in Pittsburgh because everybody's been saying, let's give Benny Snell the ball. And that didn't turn out very well. So I don't know. We'll see. And that I don't want to also blame Benny, though, completely. I think the offensive line is struggling a lot, and they're not healthy. So it's a issue. All I got to say, last thing, is put Kevin Dotson in there. The dude loves Pittsburgh. He's mean. He can move people off the line of scrimmage, and he's a rookie. Just play him. You got to find a spot for him on that line. If you got to move Filer, you got to put him on there. That's all I got to say. I swear, it'll change things with that run game. I promise you. And they'll do it.
All right, we got a question here. Michael Thomas, Sanders, Deontay Johnson start next 2 weeks. After today, I'm definitely starting Sanders. Next week he gets the Cardinals, and then the week after that he gets the Cowboys. So two really good matchups. I'm not sure who the Saints play the next 2 weeks. And it depends on it. I'm pretty sure they already said that Drew Brees looks doubtful for the Chiefs
Wow.
as well. So I don't think he'll be back for the Chiefs game. But they have the Vikings and Kansas City, and then who do the Steelers play next week? The Bengals,
Yeah.
or do they got? And then what? The Colts.
Colts. They have Bengals, Colts, Browns.
Okay.
Browns.
So I would personally go. I'd like Deontay Johnson next week, and then the week after that, I'd probably go to Michael Thomas because I think Drew Brees will be back as
Yes.
well, and they play the Vikings. But I do like Sanders too.
Saints
also-
play the Chiefs, Vikings, Panthers.
Yeah. So that'll be a good matchup come week 16. Also, rock with Wilson for the playoffs or start Hurts. What do you think, Ryan? Ryan, you're on mute.
This is a true test for Ryan here. I mean, he's a fan.
I know.
He's
No,
trying to appear an
who do the
expert here.
Seahawks have?
Oh, that's. a
I
good
don't know what the
question. I
Seahawks
don't
schedule
know.
is.
Their
Oh,
you didn't know
schedule.
that?
Their schedule's Washington, Rams, 49ers. They literally have. That's pretty
brutal.
crazy. That's 2 divisional
Yeah.
games.
Well, first things first, we don't know if Doug Peterson only committed to. He was saying it was a week
Come
by week
on.
approach.
You know,
You would
he'd
think.
be stupid.
You would think, dude. Yeah, he
Yeah.
would be stupid. The organization would be really stupid. But at this point, we don't know for sure. Obviously, you like Russell Wilson a lot more, like 9 times out of 10. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know, dude. Washington keeps proving us like that their defense is actually like impressive.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
Eagles
tough.
have the Cardinals and the Cowboys next 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
those are 2 good matchups.
Well, what
Do you
I'm
wanna
curious
say it,
about
or
is
Do you
why
want me to say it, or do you want to say it?
Well, I'll say it's definitely in play. Like obviously you like here's the thing about fantasy football is that in my opinion you start your studs, but at the same time you also look at football and you look at what's going around the league and you say to yourself, "Hey, the Rams team, they're no joke. That defense is very good." Like no, I wouldn't feel comfortable starting Russell Wilson against the Rams right now. No, I don't feel comfortable. Whereas Jalen Hurts, he's going to play Dallas and just ran for 100 yards. So at the same time, you start your studs, but you also look at who's playing, and Jalen Hurts right now proved that he can put up fantasy points, especially with his legs. And against the Dallas defense, I do like that matchup.
why did they decide to let Jalen Hurts run, but Carson Wentz wasn't allowed to run? Or do you think he didn't want to run?
I don't think Carson Wentz wanted to.
Well,
So
I
you
remember
think-
watching Carson Wentz run at that time that his leg snapped in half. So I wonder if that had anything to
That's
do
what
with
I'm
it.
curious about. You think ever since then he just was a shell of himself and
Yeah, I just don't think I don't think he's built like a Hurts. Although
yeah,
is Jalen Hurts isn't necessarily known as like a Michael Vick type.
No, but he's definitely smaller, and I
Yeah.
think that does enable him to be a little more shifty for sure. Because they said he was what 6'1", 220 or something like that, which is like he's basically a good sized DB playing quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty solid size for a guy who can easily rush for 100 yards, no doubt.
Is that like Lamar's size? 6'2", 212?
Probably Lamar might be a
It
couple
sounds-
inches taller. I think he's like 6'3". I'll look it up. But
Lamar's
you
Sounds
can-
about right. No, I feel like he's
He's 6'2". Yeah, 6'2",
he's probably like
212.
220. He's even smaller than that. Jeez.
Yeah.
He's tiny. MP.
He's
well,
strong though. I'll
first,
give
we
it to that
have-
guy. He takes a lot
I'm
of big
currently
hits.
winning 171 to 75. Well, I feel like that you're probably going to win there. That's very nice. MP Payne. Yes. Somebody send the Will Smith meme
I'm
to
gonna-
MP. Payne is right. This is just sad. Hey, we were trying to tell you the Raiders. Listen, I'm sorry. The Chiefs have a bad blemish, and that's against the Raiders. The Raiders aren't a good football team. I'll say that right now. They're not good. I'm sorry. They're
The
just not good.
Raiders.
Derek Carr, I'm not a believer in Derek Carr personally. I don't think Derek Carr is that good of a quarterback, and I just also think it's not his fault because they don't have a bunch of options around him. But the defense isn't good
The
either.
dude makes Nelson Aguilar look good.
It's tough to do.
Nelson Aguilar was decent for.
He was awful.
year.
No, the Eagles. Every Eagles fan hates, and they hear the sound of Nelson Aguilar.
Juju,
they
Deontay, Jarvis. Who would you guys go?
Would you agree, Ryan?
Who would you
Probably
go?
stick Deontay.
Deontay? I go Deontay. Would you guys agree with that?
I would go.
Yeah, I leave the Steelers questions to you guys.
Well, I would say
I
the
can't
same
answer
about
them
the
successfully.
I would say the same about the Eagles questions. Not that this is my show, but I just heard you say you would start Jalen Hurts over Russell Wilson the next 3 weeks. Ryan, I'm not letting you get away with that.
He's got a point.
I mean, here's my thing with the Seahawks, they're in a race with the Rams. They have to win. They got to
True.
win. They got to win their division. They don't want to and home field advantage doesn't mean what it used to either. So, if you're talking about these guys going into the playoffs, Russell Wilson, he's been there, he's done that, and he's got to beat the Rams in an empty stadium. You bet against Russell. What are you, nuts?
I am.
A little bit.
No, I'm not betting against them, but I just think in terms of fantasy, we'll see what Hurts does next week.
All right.
I'm definitely starting Russell Wilson next week. We'll see. We'll give one more week to Hurts, and then I just like that matchup, Dallas or the Rams.
And it's interesting timing because there's no plans for him. So you're right.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see. One more week of Hurts. We'll see how well he does.
And to be fair, real quick on this, because I was attacked, Wilmer.
True. I kind of felt bad like halfway through that.
Before today, though, Russell Wilson's last 2 games. It was against the Eagles. He put up 18 fantasy points, and I think my league's even juiced a little bit for QBs. So it was 18 against the Eagles and 17 against the Giants. He got to the Jets, which I think we could put up solid fantasy points against the Jets.
No doubt.
Defense, to be honest, and he put up 37. So this has been like he hasn't been playing super well fantasy wise for a few weeks now.
Yeah, he's been a much better real life quarterback, and that's just kind of how he's been his whole career. Really, early in the season he was absolute money, but he's also kind of been he's been decent over fantasy the past few years as well. But he's just, in my opinion, he's the maybe third best quarterback.
MP, were you upset about the move from Oakland to Las Vegas? I'm curious as a Razors fan. Razors.
Who's the Razors?
We got a couple questions.
Gillettes. Seattle just runs the ball so much more that Carson's is back to. Listen, Chris Carson, that dude does not get the credit he deserves. That dude is a stud. He is a mean runner, violent downhill. That dude will run you over.
I'm surprised they didn't run more, to be honest. But
because they want to let Russ cook.
Yeah, he had 200 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns. And an interception.
4 tutties.
That's just weird to me. It just looks weird on a stat sheet. Looks like
almost.
Jared
I got
Goff.
most of my picks right. I don't remember who his picks were. Who were your picks again, MP? Do you guys remember who they were?
I think he said Josh Jacobs over 400 yards.
I really don't even remember what any of them were. Josh Jacobs is probably one of them. I just started watching football this year. Well, how did you become a Raiders fan, MP? Did he say that before? I don't remember him saying how he became one.
That's kind of
just
crazy.
Because he likes
though.
Jacobs.
That's impressive. I mean, did you always know the rules of football and everything, and you knew about football? You just never followed the NFL. You followed college football or something. That's weird. I'm just curious because people that get into football. Everybody says it's really confusing when they watch it and stuff that don't understand it. If you watch cricket, you're always like, "What the hell is this?" You're not going to get into cricket.
The scoring works in cricket?
No, but I don't even think they do. I think you
just hit the bar, you go yard.
Go watch the video of the dude from the MLB going and playing cricket. It was pretty crazy.
He probably crushes the ball.
He does every time, and everybody's just baffled every single time.
Dude, that's not what you're supposed to do.
I don't think it is either, unless you hit it out of the park every time. I don't know, but let's get to these
questions. Home runs?
I don't know.
Look that up real quick. Somebody look up. Is there a home run in cricket?
Or if anybody here is a cricket fan somehow, let us know.
Are there home runs? All right. Anyways, so let's see. Traded Carson while he was hurt for MT, thinking I picked up a league winner. Whoops. Hey, you got the Taysom Hill project. Yeah, his stats look better, but let's be for real. Taysom Hill sucks. I'm sorry. I don't think Taysom Hill's good.
He's trash.
The right-handed Tim Tebow. Come on. My 2 teams are Raiders and the football team. Because Antonio Gibson. That's why. Yes, I do remember you said. But how? Like just because of those two guys, MP? Is that why? No, I played it before. Oh, so you played football before? Okay. So this when you just started kind of watching football. Gotcha. Should I play Dallas defense against the 49ers next week or Seattle against Washington? I told people not to play Dallas today, and that didn't work out. So
If
are you
Alex
gonna go
Smith is out, maybe you play Seattle.
Seattle against Washington? Yeah. Because I think the 49ers should be able to run the ball in Dallas effectively.
Yeah.
So
I would play
And
Seattle.
pass too,
Yeah.
because I don't think Mullins, if you have play action and quick passes, obviously he could do that.
go Seattle. No, there isn't a home run. So no home run in cricket. Okay, gotcha. All right. So, well, let's talk about the game tonight. Has anybody really looked at some of the? Well, I guess Ryan first.
Also, like if you haven't.
Yeah, if you haven't liked and if you haven't subscribed, really appreciate it. Ryan, do you have a parlay for the people?
Yeah. I sent it over to you guys. Kyle, did you get the chance to post it? I'll say it out loud though.
I haven't.
All right. So the parlay for the people tonight, we are gonna go with James Conner over for rushing yards. I have been influenced. These guys keep telling me that James Conner's gonna have a solid game tonight, so I began to believe them. And 47.5 really isn't that much. So we're gonna go over 47.5 rushing yards for James Conner. We talked, and we know one of the wide receivers for the Bills is going to have a solid day today. We weren't sure which one. We went between Diggs, and I kind of like Beasley, just as like almost like the security blanket for Allen, especially since John Brown's been gone. So I have Cole Beasley scoring anytime, and then I have Ben Roethlisberger under 286.5 passing yards. So that's a lot of passing yards.
He's gonna throw for like 350 today.
I didn't get it, Ryan. Like I got it, but it's not like letting me down. I don't know why it's not working. Just send it to me on Twitter or something.
All right.
Giggs, have you looked at any bets for tonight? Or
Just
any
Yeah,
like
Spires.
I've been looking at some of the bets. I really like the over on this game.
what is it at currently? It's like 40 something, isn't it?
Last time I looked, it was 48.5. And I
Okay.
like that. I like the over.
You like that?
What is the has anybody seen what the weather is like right now? Because I know that it was when we were looking at earlier, it was supposed to rain. Is it gonna rain?
Yeah, well, Ollie said earlier.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say we got to get a hold of Ollie.
Oh, you want Ollie? Yeah, wait. Okay, Ollie is down there on the floor. Ollie, let us know, how's it going down there in Buffalo?
No, it's not actually gonna rain today though.
Ollie, what the hell, dude? Sorry, guys. We won't cut back to Ollie for the rest of the night.
50-50 anyways. With
It's 35 degrees right now.
there's no wind either, so it looks pretty good. 7-mile-an-hour winds. So
Oh, dude, I like the smash the over Ben Roethlisberger. Touchdowns, yards. Just kidding.
rushing yards. He's gonna go off tonight. You think? Who do you think? Well, okay, let's go ahead and do it.
Touchdown.
Let's do it. Game predictions. Who's going to win tonight? Let's start off. I'll start it off. Okay. This may surprise you, but I'm going to honestly say the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to say the Steelers are going to win 28-24 today. Let's go Steelers! So yes, the over, right? Yes, the over.
That'd be the over.
48.5. Who wants to go next? Who's going to give out the prediction? Who's going to win?
Ryan doesn't want to say it.
I mean, I can go.
Go ahead.
You're such a homer. I don't think he's picked the Steelers once this year.
About that, I don't know if we've had. It hasn't been a prime time, so I don't know if we go over it. But
when was the last prime time? Yeah.
That's Monday or Tuesday game. No, I wasn't on the
Is
one
that
before.
prime time? 5
I
o'clock?
don't think so.
Baltimore.
Yeah, so that's not even prime time, is it? Anyways, go ahead.
But I'm gonna go to the Bills.
Game technically was.
I think the Bills cover. We've been talking about it, and it's been real for the Steelers. The 3 games in 12 days or whatever it is. I think it catches up to them on the back end. I go to the Bills, and I think the Bills are gonna win. I'll go 24-17.
Ooh. Okay. What is the spread's what? Is it still 1? Is it 1.5 or?
I'm looking at 2.
2.5.
2.5 now. 2.5?
Yeah,
Moving.
Buffalo's getting 2.5. Or no, I'm sorry, Buffalo's up 2.
So the Steelers are 2.5 underdogs.
So never
right
mind. Buffalo
correct.
is favored by 2. Apologies.
now. Oh, okay.
I got you
What do you
upset.
think? What do you think, Alex?
So I'm going to use the same logic I used for the Browns game because I think the Bills are legit. I mean, you just watch them. Josh Allen, he's developing into a little bit more than a gamer. Their defense is really good. I think that the Steelers they're going to have trouble, getting loose against a secondary. But there's the
But
notion, right? Especially with the Browns, this big brother, little brother type relationship. When the
Mhm.
Browns beat the Steelers, that rivalry is going to open up. But when will they do that? Will it be next year? Will it be week 17? Like, it's so hard to say. With the Bills, I guess that doesn't work. You challenge that logic because the Bills have actually beat the Steelers in recent years. But again, prime time, the Steelers, are they going to come out wearing those black uniforms with gold? I mean, they're going to come out looking good in prime time.
Are they?
I don't know if Josh Allen's going to be ready for that.
I don't know what they'll be wearing. But I will say this. I want to say this real quick about the Steelers too. Is that I'm a Steelers fan, have been my whole life. The Steelers, the one thing that they do is they always perform to the level of their competition. Have done it for years. They've lost to shit teams that they've had no reason losing to. But when it's a big game, I'm telling you, and if it's not the Patriots, anybody other than the Patriots, the Steelers come and ball out. Right now, people are underestimating the Steelers, and I guarantee you, Steelers will come out tonight and be prepared
What's
to
going to
play
be the
football.
X factor tonight is if the Bills' offensive line shows up tonight. If they don't show up tonight, Josh Allen's going to have a very, very long day. And I'm not saying that he won't execute still on some plays, because he will. He'll get those plays where he'll connect with Diggs. There's going to be those splash plays. But overall, when it comes down to the last minutes, if it's a close game, like, they better come to play. And that's
Can I say this real quick?
No.
Right now, the Steelers in pass pro, well, Buffalo right now has a minus 58% advantage. So basically 58% disadvantage in pass pro against the Steelers front. So it's going to be a big key if they can definitely get the Josh Allen, like you say. But Buffalo does have one of the lowest sack conversion rates. Their offensive line allows the lowest percentage in the NFL due to his ability to escape the pocket.
But
So
I'm curious,
if they
though,
can bring him down, that's what they need to
the
do. Like,
Steelers
they
are going to
can't
be
let him
doing a lot of
escape.
very fast blitz packages because they don't have Robert Spillane. They've called up UG3. So really it's just UG3 and Avery Williamson that are probably going to be revolving and just a one linebacker spot in like a dime defense.
Are you excited to see Avery Williamson tonight?
Yeah,
See how that trade works
mostly.
out?
Yeah, mostly because Vince Williams. I looked at his contract. If they cut him next year, they'll save $4 million opposed to spending $7 million, and I am totally
Yeah, but
not
they'll
against
have.
that.
What are they going to do then? Because they also have to do what?
But that's
Sign? Are you going
still
to say Averyson
Avery Williamson. I don't know what his deal is. I
or
don't know if it's
Williamson? I mean,
it might be a 2-year.
I think it's a
don't-
1-year
as-
deal.
If it is, then I'm sure re-sign him. But you're still saving $4 million on a guy that, in my opinion, you don't really need. If Robert Spillane stays, then you have Devin Bush. Then you just need to get a depth piece, and I don't think you need to spend $7 million on depth. So I think you just get rid of Vince Williams, in my opinion, because you need to re-sign so many different people. Juju and James Conner, if you want to, T.J. Watt. They
Maybe-
have a lot of contracts.
T.J. Watt definitely.
Well, obviously, Juju needs
James
to get
Conner.
re-signed.
Maybe.
No, he
Because
needs
what's
to.
he going to ask?
Well,
Are you going
true.
to be paying him top
Well,
dollar?
no, that's the thing. But I don't think he's gonna ask for it.
We'll see.
What was I talking about? Oh, okay.
What were you talking
So
about?
Avery Williamson, yeah, I am very excited to see. But I'm also really excited to see Marcus Allen and Justin Lane. These are two guys that could be starters moving forward when Steven Nelson and Joe Hayden's contracts are up. So I'm really excited to see Justin Lane. And the final guy is Cam Sutton. Could he just be a guy they can literally put anywhere and he'll play at a very good level? Some positions elite. So I think those are guys nobody's talking about that could be huge factors in this game besides Alex Highsmith. He is the X factor. They're going to try to go after him in certain ways, and I think he needs to execute today.
So who do you think wins?
I
Buffalo?
I could see Steelers doing kind of like what they did to Tennessee, and then obviously letting them back in the game, possibly. But I actually see like a. I want to say the Steelers lose, but I feel like they're gonna win this game. I don't know why. I just have a feeling, but I could be completely wrong. Buffalo's a legit team. I'm not saying they're not. I think it's gonna be an amazing game, but I'm gonna have to go with if the weather's okay. I'm looking at like if they win 35-32 or something like that, or like
Oh, you're
yeah.
smashing the over.
Yeah, I'm smashing the over because these are, I mean, they're a team that's just splashy. They can just come out and have 2 touchdowns and 2 drives. They're easily capable. So Pittsburgh's gonna have to keep up with them, I think, all day, if their defense struggles.
Giggs, what about you?
Yeah, if you're gonna beat the Steelers, you got to do it through the air, in my opinion. And we all know Buffalo can't run the ball. It's been very painful to watch all year. So I think Josh Allen's going to sling it. So I do think it's going to be more of a high-scoring game. I think both teams could hit 30 points or more. But my prediction is going to be Steelers 34, Buffalo 31.
Ooh.
And I think if Buffalo was completely healthy with John Brown, like if they had all their weapons, I think they would stand a better chance. But not having Brown, I think, is going to hurt. I don't think Isaiah McKenzie or Gabriel Davis is going to get it done for them. So I want to go Steelers in this one. I like the over. If I'm betting on the Steelers money line or the spread, I think both are fine. But I expect Big Ben to have a big game here, and I think James Conner is he's gonna have over 100 rushing yards. I'm calling it now. They're gonna lean on him big. He's gonna be fresh too. He's been out for 2 weeks. Well, maybe COVID whooped his ass. I'm gonna guess because he's a professional athlete that he's doing just fine. Because that old Florida State coach, that football coach who has like the most wins all time, dude's like 90 years old. He had COVID. He beat it. So I'm gonna guess James Conner will be just fine. And Buffalo, they're not the same defense they used to be. You can actually beat them on the ground. I think they're going to give James the ball a lot. So look for Erie Connor to have 100 yards and probably fall in the end zone once or twice.
I do agree. If John Brown was playing, that my feelings would be completely different because he shredded Steven Nelson last year. So,
What about if the Bills ever had or used a tight end? I mean, I think that hypothetical changes the complexion of this game completely
True.
because of Avery Williamson. I'll say that I think it helps the Steelers' part that Avery Williamson played in that division for so long with the Jets that
fair.
he'll have a little bit of insight and know what to expect from the Bills. But they don't have anything to exploit the middle of the field outside of probably a Cole Beasley. So whoever was headed in that direction at the beginning of the show, I'm all for that. I think Cole Beasley has a big night. I think Steph Diggs has a big night. He's matchup proof. But without a tight end, what do they do in the middle?
Yeah, I'd imagine it'll probably be Beasley. He probably will eat him up a little bit. I just think one of them will eat him up. Diggs is so good too. He's probably maybe one of the, if not the best offseason signings, in my opinion. I mean, you just made Buffalo like a real contender with that signing. And that's just what they needed. They just needed a playmaker on offense to give Josh Allen somebody to throw the ball to. John Brown's good, but he's also been banged
Now,
up.
do the Bills play zone? Do you know defense? Like, are they mainly zone? Do they play a lot of man?
Well, if they're doing shadow, then I'm assuming they're
they're playing more man.
Well, they might like mix it up with zone. I don't know exactly what they're doing.
Because I think if they play a lot of, because don't they have a lot of injuries right now? I haven't really looked. Now they did get Milano back. They have Edmonds is healthy, so that's why I'm not really entirely sure about James Conner. But I do feel like because their secondary is pretty depleted, I have a feeling Chase Claypool is going to tear it up in the seams today. I feel like he's just going to go, and if they play any type of zone, he's just going to pick apart the middle. So that's just what they've been doing lately. Ben's just been really connecting with him. within that 40-yard range to the goal line. Like there's 2 plays last week, right on the 5-yard line. They just connected right in the middle. So I could see
All
Claypool
right.
having
A
a big
couple
week.
questions. Well, AJ Brown
Throw
is
out
the
too
GOAT.
nice.
AJ Brown's really good. A lot of people were questioning whether to play him. There were some questions whether to play him or Corey Davis today. Like that's just nonsense. Stop it. Play AJ Brown. The dude's a stud. Down 23.5 with only Josh Allen to play. What are my chances? I'd say it's reasonable.
Pretty good.
Like I'd say you probably like if it. I'd say like it's 50-50. I could definitely see him getting there, but I could also see him throwing for like or getting 20 points. It's going to be right around that. Um, DeAndre Johnson prop line. What is his prop line right now? Were you looking at it?
Deontay was 63.5 earlier.
63.5. I
Receiving
probably like
yards
it.
that we're talking about.
If you're
What's
watching
it?
right
Yeah,
now,
what's his
please like the
catches?
video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate it.
Because I probably like his
63 and a
catches.
half for yards. For receptions, no, you don't. 6.5. I feel like that's
a lot.
high.
But that dude, he catches a ton of balls.
Yeah, no, I easily see him getting like a 12 targets today, so I could see that.
Yeah, I feel like he could
Well,
definitely.
it's plus money for over 6.5. So if you like,
All right,
it,
I'll
plus
take it.
123.
I'll take it. Let's do
Book
it,
it.
baby. We'll do it live. What else did we have here? I need 9 points for the win. So you have, do you only have Deontay Johnson left, Terrell? Also in another league, down 7, he has Connor and Pitt's defense. I have Lamar and Andrews. You're down 7. I feel like your chances are pretty good. That's going to be a pretty good matchup come down to Monday night. But definitely Lamar could have a game against Cleveland right now. They're pretty banged up in the secondary. Today taught me depression. Thanks to my friend Gallman. Yeah, dude. Gallman. Well, I won't even say it's his fault. Like he actually had a decent game. It's just they couldn't. I feel like it was at the end of the third quarter was the first time that they passed midfield all day long. That is terrible. Wayne Gallman is gonna, you need some help there from Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes needs to help a little bit. Jefferson, Fant, McLaurin, and the Saints defense. I just got bounced from the playoffs. Did Jefferson not have that good of a game? Did he have a touchdown or no?
I think he had a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, he didn't
Yeah, I
have. It
don't
was
think
4
he had a
catches,
touchdown.
30, and Thielen didn't even have that good of a game either. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. I was loving that Trubisky, Robin. Yeah, dude. The Bears. How about them Bears, huh? Bear down. The Bears played really good today. I'm going to put up a little montage because I'm telling you, since like week 9, I've been telling people to trade for Montgomery because the playoff schedule was just so nice. He has like maybe the best playoff schedule for running backs right now, and it keeps getting better. So, do you think Gibson will be back next week? Oh boy, I mean, to not even practice this week, it doesn't look good. I'll tell you that. The fantasy doctor and the pro football doctor said week 16, if week 16. So I don't think so, but he could definitely try his hardest. Cole Beasley or Claypool tonight? Who do you think? Probably Beasley.
I'd go Beasley.
Yeah, Beasley. What's up, fellas? What's up, dog? Or Doug? Dog. Kara Campbell. I didn't start Sanders. Hey, we talked about it. Listen, it sucks, but Sanders was not a good play. I'm telling you, Sanders was not a good play. The team that's giving up the fewest fantasy points to the running back position, team that's giving up the fewest rushing yards, and a team that just switched their quarterback. It was not a good play at all. Like, don't feel bad about sitting him. It sucks, but it was not a good play. You made the right choice, unless you started Peyton Barber. Then that wasn't a good choice, but hopefully it was somebody decent than Peyton Barber. I'm fine as long as Gibson's back before the playoffs. We'll see. I'm hoping MP. I'm hoping. All right. So, any other things that you guys want to talk about for tonight's game? Some matchups that you're looking forward to?
I did want to address an article by CBS Sports and Bleacher Report talking about there's word out of Pittsburgh that they're worried about Ben Roethlisberger's knee. And you go read it, and it has like nobody from Pittsburgh, no quote from anybody. It's just like a total opinion article about Ben Roethlisberger's knee, and it's headlining everywhere. And it's just like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And you see Ben Roethlisberger right here, looks completely fine pregame, going and talking to all the players, walking around. geared up. Like, I don't get it, dude. The media is a joke. That's why you watch the Aspire Sports Show. Quit watching the big
It's like
media.
when Al Jazeera came out with the Peyton Manning stuff. Everyone's like, "Wait, what? Who broke that news? We can't believe that. No, he didn't do that."
But I don't remember
Really?
what that
I
was.
mean,
What was it?
I
When,
like the Steelers. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the Al Jazeera. It's like I don't even know exactly what it is. It's some type of news source, media outlet, whatever, and they're not necessarily known to be the most credible, but they were the ones that said that Peyton Manning was going to go get HGH from Germany or overseas.
Oh, I do remember that. I remember that story. Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about now. What were we gonna say, Alex?
I just had a flashback to that story. It wasn't even just Peyton in that story. They implicated like 5 of these stars.
Wasn't it Andrew Luck too? Wasn't he one of
Yeah.
them or something?
It
Or like
was a
Kobe
huge story.
Bryant
I
or
forgot all
somebody
about
too? I feel like he was even involved in it, or maybe he was actually doing it.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of professional athletes you wouldn't think wanted a HGH chicken parm sandwich, you know?
So yeah, I do remember that, but I'm not even. The only thing I'm worried about, Ben, is just it's just the offense, like the play calling or something. I don't know if it's maybe, and I've talked about this. I feel like he also factors into it. He just wants to throw the ball. They want to chuck the ball 50 times a game, and they're content doing that, which I just don't like. I just wish they would try to do something differently rather than these short slants all game long. Like it's either a slant, 3rd and 1. All right, bomb 50 yards down the field. Hey, let's go for it. We'll hopefully get a pass interference call. That's their offense.
Well, and I think the last few weeks, though, you're seeing maybe lack of game planning, but they're playing on short schedule too.
Yeah,
so that's a big
no,
part
I
of
think
it.
that definitely
Ben
factors in. And like you
Roethlisberger's
said,
not practicing
practice,
on top of that.
right.
Yeah, but now he's practiced a full week, and I don't think there's any more excuses. That's the key thing with this week is they've gotten rid of a lot of the excuses. You've had, okay, you lost a day of preparation, but now it's basically been a regular week. So can you come in with good game planning or proper game planning, like trying to game plan for this team that there's a lot of film on? It's not like the Bills don't have a lot of film on what they're trying to do and what they do every week. So,
And you have Pouncey out too, which it's always really funny when the centers make what the like most despicable play when they literally don't snap the ball and everybody else moves. That's when you know your center's not on cue with the quarterback. And I'm pretty sure, did that happen last week or the week before? Where who was it? What's the backup center's name?
J.D. Hassenhauer.
Yeah, literally doesn't snap the ball and everybody else on the offense is moving
Well,
but him.
He
That
also
just-
had a terrible game against Washington. Washington absolutely annihilated him.
Well,
So-
and I think
and
that
that's
big
what I'm
part is
saying
Pouncey,
is Pouncey,
being out.
yeah. Even Pouncey at his worst is better than that.
Mhm.
So I think it is a bigger deal than people are thinking too.
Yeah, Steelers will be okay, guys. They'll be fine, hopefully. Pitt will be happy to have Connor back. I agree. Haskins is terrible.
Haskins?
He's not good. I will say that. Is Dwayne Haskins good? He was the other. Oh, okay. You're asking if he was good. Listen, he lost the job to Kyle Allen. I think that says enough. And then they didn't even go, but they went to Alex Smith. They didn't even go back to Dwayne Haskins. So I think that answers the question. Like, is Haskins bad? He's not very good. I'm playing against Connor. I hope not, though. I think Connor's gonna have a good game. We'll see. Is this game worth watching? Come on, MP. This is the best game of the day. What are you talking about, dude?
God, you're still watching the Raiders?
Yeah, you watched the Raiders game. That game wasn't worth watching.
None
are you
of
kidding
them
me?
this season, except for maybe the Chiefs game.
What was the best game today so far? A lot of them were
Like
blowouts.
no close games.
Yeah, like a lot of them were blowouts today. There
If
was
the
really
Dolphins
no...
would actually came back within like a couple
They made
points.
it interesting.
Yeah,
at
but
least.
if there was like more time on the clock, say there's like when they came back, there's like 7 minutes left, it would have never made a difference. I don't know why I said that because I think the Chiefs would have
Looks
blew them
like
out even more.
The Broncos one wasn't too bad. It
Panthers
did come
wasn't
down.
horrible.
Yeah, it came down to the. What about the New Orleans game, Ryan? Because they came back a little bit, right? Against the Eagles.
Yeah, they came back.
The only
little bit.
issue with those games
Not
Were
is
you a
real
little
like,
scary.
nervous?
there's not that much on the line, so it's just
I was
like,
kind of happy. Dude, I've been telling you, I want the Eagles to lose at this point.
Now you're gonna have faith again. They might win the division.
Hey, Lions game was a good game to watch today.
Was it? I didn't
I
watch
thought
it.
it was. I mean, it was.
What about that Jets game? Was that a good game?
That was a good.
That was a really close one. I fucking love that game. That one was a great one.
Oh man, they're pathetic.
Yeah.
So
The Chargers produced another close one.
was it close? What was the final score to that?
20 to
20 to
17.
17.
Wasn't that the final
Man,
score
that's kinda
of the
disappointing.
Chiefs game when they played the Chiefs?
When they played the Chiefs? I don't know.
Pretty sure. It
So
was.
who loses his job next? Who do you guys think?
Mike
It's
Vrabel.
gonna be Lynn.
Coach.
hmm
Mike Tomlin.
Oh, dude, maybe Matt Patricia.
Oh, too
Daddy.
soon.
Edward.
When does Gase lose his job? Like,
Never,
how
we
does
love
this
him.
guy not? How did he not lose his job yet? I don't understand this. If you're gonna fire Anthony Lynn, I get it. Hasn't been that great, but like I swear the Chargers are cursed. Like this team just cannot win a close game. They actually did today, but against a team that can't win any close games, Atlanta. But like, at least I would probably take Anthony. I would take Anthony Lynn over Adam Gase. Would you not?
I wouldn't want either.
I mean, I wouldn't want either. But if those are the only coaches you'd have, like, wouldn't you choose Anthony Lynn? Like, I don't know. Adam Gase to me is just like he's clueless. It doesn't seem like the players like him. So how does he still have a job? And then you're gonna get Trevor Lawrence. Like, you really trust that guy to develop Trevor Lawrence when he comes out and says, "I really haven't developed Sam that well." Like, what do you mean you haven't developed him though? That is your job to develop him. Like, what are you talking about? I guess I didn't really do my job that well today. Would you tell your boss that? You'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Like, do your job. That's your job. What are you talking about?" So I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. So do you think he should be the next one? Like, who do you think it is?
Dude, he should have just started Joe Flacco and Frank Gore from the start. Just have those two as the starters. They're beasts. They're old. They get the job done. Screw
think
the
so?
young bucks. Yeah, you don't need them. Frank
In
Gore's
all
in the record
fairness,
books.
they gave a couple teams some good games this year. They just haven't gotten a W. Like, obviously today they look pathetic, but that New England game, I think that surprised everyone. That was another one where they just gift wrapped it at the end. They were going to win that game, and then Joe Flacco was like, "Hey guys, let's go for 3 for Perryman, yeah." And then they pick it off, and they go down the field and score to win. Like, I don't know. And then of course the all-out blitz against Oakland. Like, they've been right there. They could have won a couple games. I'm not saying that is an excuse to keep Gase. I think Gase should go, but they've just been really, really unlucky with like the departures on offense and defense this year. Like, you lose Bell, you lose some linebackers, you lose Jamal Adams. They just can't even keep the talent they draft. They can't keep the talent they're signing. It's more than just a head coach thing. It's just the entire organization is definitely cursed, and it's just a sad, sad organization that has not been anything since, that 1 year they had Mark Sanchez.
That's really just New York teams in general. They haven't been good in years. Like, all of them. I mean,
Like the
New
Knicks?
York Yankees, sure. But the Knicks, yeah, when was the last time the Knicks were any good? Giants, I mean, they had their run with Eli Manning years ago. That's been a decade at least. So I don't know. We'll see who gets canned next. It's coming up. When is it like there's a day, like it's maybe right after the NFL season's actually over, the regular season, but I know that there's a day like when it has a special name. I don't know what the
Black
actual name
Monday.
is that what it's called? Black Monday?
Yep.
When they all get fired. So I think, why fire them now? Just let them coach out for the rest of the season. Only got a couple more games here, so let them finish out, and then Black Monday, fire him. So it does seem cursed. It does, doesn't it? New York, I mean, they don't have some good football teams. That's for sure. They need
My
some good football
fear, I
teams.
guess, as a Steelers fan, is that if the Jets were to fire their coach, Bill Cowher, would end up being their next head coach, because that's being talked about a little bit too much to be completely unfounded that this guy's trying to get back into coaching.
Cower is? You think you go to the Jets?
Ah,
I,
I mean,
I wish he'd go to the Steelers and do something. Anything.
you got to
I'd love
think,
that
yeah,
guy.
wouldn't that be crazy? You got to think he respects the Jets, right? Because the Jets were legitimate when he was there. That was when they had Curtis Martin, and
Yeah.
You think
they were a
Bill
very good
Cowher
team.
and Mike Tomlin would work together? I
No.
don't know. I don't think so.
It's not I don't think that's a possibility.
No.
In an ideal
No.
that's a Yinzer's dream. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, exactly. It is. They're
Right.
every Yinzer's wet dream. That's a wet dream, is what that is.
that's what I wanted to
Bill
say.
Cowher is like the John Gruden to the Raiders, essentially.
Yeah, no, that's
The
what I was
Steelers
gonna
thing, what the
draw that
Steelers thing.
comparison. I was seriously gonna say, like, do you think John Gruden didn't want to go to the Raiders part of him because they're basically the Jets? Sorry, Cruz and MP. I mean, they're better, but if they didn't have Derek Carr, they'd basically be the Jets. So, it's kind of a similar situation, but I think Gruden still looks at it as he can still turn it around, which maybe he can.
So you think that Bill Cowher would want to go there, Alex?
Yeah, I think that just seems like hey, it's a low pressure job, right? What do you have to
No.
what do you have to
True.
accomplish?
With that roster, not much.
That team, you're right. And I mean, the only other team I think of in all of sports that is quite as pathetic is the Mets. The Washington football team's
The
up there. They're
Knicks.
pretty bad, but
The Knicks
just
are up there.
stink.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're never good.
never.
And the sad part is people don't want to go play there. Like that's the worst part is that like these guys want to go play other places and it's like it's New York and they still don't want to go there. Like nobody wants to go and play for New York. No,
Like,
they're
dude,
like, no,
we've been
no
to New
thanks.
York. That's New Jersey. We are not.
That's true. What wasn't Jason Kidd the Jets QB a couple years ago? Jason Kidd, yeah. No, what was
Did you
he?
answer
He was
JB
the head
and
coach, right?
Did you answer JB and KC?
Jason Kidd's an assistant on the Lakers, I think.
I didn't. Let's see. If I'm not looking for the high ceiling tonight, should I start Allen or Big Ben? I need a Hail Mary. If I'm looking for the highest ceiling, I feel like Allen definitely has the highest ceiling. I'd go Allen.
Ryan
Big Ben.
agrees.
Ryan agrees. I just feel like he has the highest ceiling. He's proved it. Big Ben, he has a decent floor. Maybe I'd just start Josh
I
Allen.
actually think whoever that is in great shape either way. As long as that game turns into a shootout, you should be set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friends are Giants fans, and they're just living our own fantasy, saying, "Hey, Daniel Jones is the best QB in the NFL." That sounds a lot like Pat Harris, doesn't it? That's Pat Harris for you.
He was pretty angry today.
He was angry with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No, he was.
Just at the
He
whole
was.
team.
He wasn't blaming Daniel Jones. Yeah.
That's another one. It's not Daniel's fault. I mean,
no, it's
even when they
the
won
team.
with Eli, it was a complete fluke. Complete fluke.
Yeah, they're trash. First TD scores, real quick. Who you guys got? I didn't look at it honestly. If I had to go, I would say for me, I would say James Conner for the Steelers side, and then for the other side, I'm gonna say they're both gonna be really safe plays, but I feel like they're the most likely to score first is gonna be Stephon Diggs.
I like
the
Juju
two
and
favorites.
Beasley. Those are just mine too. I think that
Juju and who?
those
Beasley?
I think those two are going to be the biggest factors tonight.
Who would you say, Ryan?
Offensively.
I have Beasley and Johnson. I have money on both of them.
Giggs, do you have anybody for first touchdown? All right, we'll come back to him. Alex, are you allowed to say at least?
Yeah. I like Josh Allen. I can do whatever I want for entertainment purposes, which is actually more fun. It's way less stressful. But anyways, I think Josh Allen gets in with the legs on like a bootleg, a play action, something like that. On the other side of the football, I guess, yeah, I'll say James Conner in his return. I think that they'll try to keep him fresh. I'd say 15 to 20 touches for James Conner.
Mhm.
And fantasy owners aren't going to enjoy hearing that, but that's my take. Is the biggest thing is to keep them fresh. But they get down there in the goal line. I swear, Benny Snell, he jumped. It looked like he was going to fly like halfway through the end zone, and he didn't move. It looked like me out
Well,
there.
that is a little bit concerning too, because they did when James was playing, Benny Snell would go in for the goal line carries in some of those games and take the goal line carries.
Bro.
So that is a good
MP, MetLife
to say that.
Stadium's in New Jersey, bro. What you talking about, Willis?
Um,
But the reason why that happened, Benny Snell, you're talking about the one where it looked like he was about to get it and then he got swallowed up. That was Eric Ebron not blocking Chase Young.
Good point.
He was just like, no, I'm
Which
good.
actually, going back to the conversation about Derek Watt,
yeah,
that's probably a huge reason. They've got him in there just trying to pick up
and
a
he can't
block.
block.
Right. Because
Because
Vince McDonald
that
can't
Xavier
stay
Grimble,
healthy.
say what you want, that guy could always block.
Yeah. Zach Gentry's trash.
Brutal.
He's so bad. What a waste
So
of a
that's
pick.
true too. That's probably also why they're not running as much because they just don't have the tight ends to block. I mean, Vance, he's at least decent, right?
They're
But
gonna have to use him. I
Ebron,
don't know
he
what
can't block.
they're gonna have to use Vance McDonald through the air too, with Ebron. I love Ebron and the playmaking ability, but the drops will just drive you
He's
nuts.
Right.
he's been dropping a lot of balls the past couple of weeks. It's been brutal to watch. As a Big Ben fan, like I just feel bad for him because a lot of those drops are drive killers. So it makes the Steelers look bad. It makes Ben look worse. But it's like a lot of those throws are on the money. They're just dropping the ball. It's as simple as that. I live in Philly and I decided not to have a favorite fan or a favorite team. My excuse is because I do fantasy. Hey, I feel you. When you play fantasy football, it's very hard not to be biased towards your favorite team. It's very hard, unless your favorite team's trash and you're like, yeah, they're trash. But if they're good, it's very hard not to be biased. Um, Benny Snell, gross. Benny Smell. Oh, dude, that hurts his feelings. Benny Snell's not too bad, okay? He's not terrible. Was there a parlay for the people? Yes, there was. Do you have that, Kyle? Can
I
you put it in
already
the chat?
responded.
It was sent.
What was Ryan? Why don't you go ahead and just say it one more time?
Say it. Okay.
Say it one more
Give
time,
me
and
one
then we'll
second.
wrap it up and say our final thoughts.
Boys, congratulations, 420 subscribers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, yeet.
I have James Conner over 47.5 rushing yards, Cole Beasley to score anytime, and
Oh,
Ben
of course.
Roethlisberger under 286.
Oh, of course.
What?
So over or under? What is it? 286 is his
Under 286.5.
under
yeah.
200.
Steelers
Cole Beasley.
lose. What else?
Okay.
What else you want to throw in there, Ryan?
I have James
Spread.
Conner over for rushing yards.
Two interceptions for Ben. Anything else?
Sack Kiki for Snell last week. I lost the play. Yes, that was not. Hey, I mean, it is what it is. I feel like I would do that again though. Like Benny Snell, and you don't know what to expect from Kiki, and he goes and has like today's game is what I would have expected from Kiki. He did not have. If he didn't score a touchdown, his day would have been terrible. Tweeted thanks. Okay, did you read my paragraph about the football team? What was your paragraph? I don't know if I read it. My friends are Giants fan. Was that? No, I don't know if it was that one. What was it? The Dwayne Haskins one, MP? I'm not sure what it was. Let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Any final thoughts for tonight's game? Nothing?
I got nothing.
All
right,
I
let's go
gotta say
Steelers.
is Steelers, stonks.
Stonks.
Wilmer, you got anything?
I'm just thinking it's going to be a close one.
It'll be a good
Ben
game.
Roethlisberger with that knee report. That there's always something with him, whether it's
Right.
going down in the first half and coming back to be the hero in the second half. So I don't know if it's a narrative type thing. If Ben Roethlisberger goes down, Steelers fans, see you next year.
Yeah, it was brutal last year. My gosh, let me tell you, it was disgusting. So, when will the game end? Oh, true, we didn't do that one. When will the game end, Ryan?
Wow. 11:28.
Awful.
Is that
stupid?
early-ish?
11.
I
I
don't
think
know
it's
how late.
average. It sounds average. 11:28.
Okay. All right. So, well, thank you, Alex, for being on the show. We do appreciate you coming on. Everyone
Fun,
give
thank you.
Alex a round of applause in the chat. Yeah.
Oh,
And Alex,
woo!
where can they find you?
I'm on Twitter, always ranting about something at Erie Alex. Otherwise, come out to Edinburgh athletic events when they start back up. Hopefully, all this
Soon.
COVID craziness dies down here soon. But I appreciate it, guys. It was fun.
Why did you put that meme up there, Kyle?
I don't remember. It's just a good
Oh,
one.
hell yeah. All right. So, and last thing here, Gibson the next CMC, the football. What are you talking about? Gibson the next CMC? Maybe we'll see.
Here's
Washington,
another live look at MP before we leave.
Washington football team wins the Super Bowl and Wizards wins the finals. Giggs, what's your takes on the Wizards winning the finals? Oh man, come on, MP. You're crazy. All right, so anyways, thank you all for hanging out. We appreciate you. And we'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be live at 7 till game time. Thank you all and have a good night. See ya.
See you guys.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
Alex.
Good luck.